My name is Daniel with Simrad. Today we're in this Anytec A27C and we're going to go through some features, tips and tricks on the Simrad MFD on board. Yes, we're now powering up the system and going into the home menu. The home menu is where you have all your icons for chart, echo sounder, side scan, radar, engine data, whatever you have connected to the system. You find it here. But these are dedicated icons. So, pressing chart, it will give you the full chart image. But there is also the pre-selected combinations. So you have on the right side of the MFD, you have chart, echo, chart, radar. Different combinations, but you can also create a custom page. This gets you into a menu where you have a blank page and you can then take the icons, drag them and drop. So you could combine more or less every combination you feel is relevant. You could have video, you could have engine data, you can have chart, you can have radar, and you can also select how they are going to be organized, displayed simply. And you can move stuff around within these different cubes. Once you're happy, you save it, and it will be saved as a favorite out of the home menu on the right side, just next to the other combinations that was already there, like the pre-selected ones. So this gives you a very good opportunity to customize your system for your specific needs. Okay, I want to show you guys a really usable menu. So just swipe your finger from the top of the screen and this appears. So from here you can have quick access to very usable features. So for instance, you have the instrument bar enabled. Just tap that and it disappears, so you have full screen. Tap it again, it appears. You have control over your radar, so you could, from this menu, set it to transfer mode or to silent mode. What else do you have? You have standby, meaning that the display goes in standby, but the system is still running. So you don't have to have the display running just because you is using your other functions and you have a quick startup without having a full reset of the system. You have a quick access to your setting menu. So if you want to enter any of the more advanced settings, you could go directly to the setting menu. Going back to one of the main menus, again, swipe from the top and this appears again. You have brightness control, so you can control it either by swiping with your finger or by using the rotary knob. You have also night mode, on and off. And going back to the brightness, you can actually control brightness by do a quick press on the power button. So you have 4 levels of brightness from the power button. You also have touch lock, which could be quite usable, especially on the NSS units where you might be having like gloves or whatever. It might be cold outside, you don't accidentally want to touch the screen. So the touch is now locked, it's disabled. To unlock it, I need to press the power button once, and now I can use the touch again. So this is a very usable menu. So I could take the instrument bar back again and just close the menu. This menu is also entered by tapping the power button once. So it's the same menu, just 2 different ways of entering it. So, chart orientation. Chart orientation is very much about preference. Some people like to have north up, some head up, some course up. Personally, I like to have both, but depending on situation. In this case now we have north up. We know that because of this symbol up here shows up north. But pressing it once we get head up. Pressing it again you get course up, and pressing it again you're back to north up. You could also choose if you like to have the boat central, or as in this case, to look ahead. Personally, I like to have look ahead because I'm more interested of what is in front of my boat rather than back. So I would like to keep this look ahead. I also have added a indicator indicating where I'm going. So this is going all the way out to the edge of the screen, always indicating where my bow is pointing. As I said in the beginning, I like both. I like both head up and north up. So what you can do, and this is especially useful if you're navigating in unknown waters, simply you don't have like an overview in your head of where you're going. So on this left screen I have north up, and the right screen I have north up as well, but I have a totally different zoom level. So the right one is giving me the overview I need. I know that I have to go south, but looking at this chart I know that I need to go first east to be able to go south. On the left screen I would actually prefer to have head up, because that gives me kind of the same perspective I have when I'm looking outside, from where I'm going, from my helm position. While again, the right screen gives me the overview, and since that is in north up, I can, really quickly have good orientation in what direction I'm going. So this is a very, very nice way to utilize the big screen. And if you want to have more focus on your close-up, you can adjust the split. So you could have more on the close-up and less on the overview, or the other way around. But it's very useful and a very good tip. Yes, so this boat is equipped with a radar. It's a Halo 24 radar, and accessing the radar menu I have multiple choices, if I want to go in and do settings and stuff, but all I need really to get it started is to drag this control menu down, put it into transmit. And as you can see, this has the both radars, so it's a Halo 24A and it's the B. But physically, it only has one radar. So the dual radars is very much related to the dual range function. So to run them simultaneously, I could make a new radar page, and this is then radar B. So again, pulling this menu down, I could enable the B radar. So again, it's the same radar, but it's making a dual range function. So at the B version, I have the 1 nautical mile range, and at the A, I have the half-mile range. This is also offset, and this is central. This is a matter of what you prefer, but just to get them to look very similar, I could just do the same for the B one. And this could be very useful, especially when you're approaching a coastline, that you have long distance, long range on one, and you have short and close range on the other one. This can also be used with overlay. So you could either have like this, so you have on the left side a full chart without overlay at all, and then you have the radar, like a dedicated radar page. But if you want to have radar on the chart as well, you just go to layers and add radar, and you will have radar overlay. This is a matter of taste or preferences, but personally I like it this way. So I like to have my chart, and I like to have my dedicated radar page. So the Simrad NSS is a multifunction display, meaning that you don't only have chart and radar, you can You can also have your engine data displayed. So in this case, it's a Mercury engine data. You have full engine overview, but you also have some control over the engine. By tapping these different icons for speed or RPM, you access more detailed menus related to that. And you have like your gear selector, you have trim, you have fuel tank, you have voltage, but this is the full page, and in reality I don't think that you actually use the full page that much. I think this is a more real use case, that you have the full chart or the full echo sounder, the full radar, and you have quick access to your most important engine functions. So you have RPM, you have voltage, you have fuel, you have speed, you have trim. And from this menu, you can also go into more detailed information about oil pressure, tanks, whatever. Tapping again, you're closing it, but then you have vessel control. And vessel control is exactly as it sounds, it's controlling functions. So you have cruise control, you have troll control, you have smart tow for your water sports, you have active trim, and you have sport exhaust control on and off. And this is in the case of Mercury, but if you happen to have a Yamaha or Suzuki, you have a very similar sidebar. In this particular boat, we have the main Simrad NSS Evo 3S 12-inch right in front of you. That is like your main navigation unit. But we also have the Simrad NSS 9 next to it. And this can be very useful because, you know, this is a quite clean dash. We don't have any engine instrument. So this is our primary engine instrument. And, you know, this can also be combined and configured just as the big one. So if you would like to, for example, have echo instead, you have echo sounder. If you like to combine that with engine data, you just drag and drop, and you have both. But you still have focus for navigation on the main screen. So the main screen is for radar, for chart, while this is for accessories like engines, like echo sounder. But of course, it's also a backup. You still have the chart, you still have the navigation, you still have access to radar functionality, everything that you have in this one. So it gives you redundancy, of course. This boat also has the 9-inch NSS on the port side. So this is for the passengers. You know, in a way, it could be fun simply for your passengers to follow where you're going, to follow the navigation, to follow the route. But again, it's also redundant, and in heavy weather or in like really bad conditions, it can be extremely helpful to have a second navigator helping you to navigate simply out of the second display. So this boat is very well equipped when it comes to displays, but it gives you not only, of course, there's a kind of a cool factor to it, that is definitely true, but it also gives you a very, very good overview of the boat, the system, where you are, where you're going, and the redundancy.